I wanted to share an update about where I am in the querying process. So, if you have been following along, I recently started querying my YA historical fiction manuscript. As of filming this video, it is about a month into the querying journey, so I feel like a month is a good round number, a good time period to kind of go over what I've been seeing in the past couple of weeks, where I am, and hopefully where I am headed in the future. So stick around for my update. If you've been following along this summer, then you may have seen my other videos where I talked about my writing and revising process for my current manuscript. It is a YA historical fiction story set in 1943 on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. It is a World War II story about the Japanese-American experience that was happening back home. So I spent this summer and early fall finishing the final revision, or at least the most recent revision, which ended up being draft number 6, wrapped that up at the end of September, and at the beginning of October is when I started querying literary agents to pitch my story to them. So as of today, when I'm filming this, we're about a month into the querying journey, and so far in a month, I have received 6 rejections, which is a bummer, not great, but I'm actually not feeling too sad about it. Probably because I kind of felt sad the first time I was querying a manuscript back in 2018. And that was the first time that I ever gone through that process, and it was very anxiety inducing when you're sending out all of these pitches and these query letters, and then you're getting all these rejections back, and it's like a gut punch every time. Like the first time you go through this process, every rejection is a gut punch. But this time around, I anticipated that most of these were going to be rejections. That's kind of how it goes for most writers out there. So I already knew what I was getting into, and I haven't really felt like the disappointment or, the sadness from it, just because I knew what to expect. So yes, 6 rejections, not great, but expected. And so I'm kind of just rolling with it, kind of just glad that I can check it off my list. I appreciate that I know for sure I have a definitive answer from these agents that they are not interested at this time. It's not a good fit. No worries. I will cross you off my list and I will focus on all of the other ones. So within the 6 rejections, 5 of them were form rejections. A form rejection is basically a template response that an agent will send to writers who have sent them queries. It is very standard. There's no fluff, it's not flowery, it's not personalized. It just covers all of the bases, right? Thank you for submitting. I appreciate the chance to read your material. Unfortunately, at this time, it's not a great fit. Best of luck in your future endeavors. That's kind of what a form rejection is, and it's pretty much the most common response that I've found to have received, and hearing from and seeing updates from other writers, it's pretty much the most common that you're going to receive as well. I appreciate, again, the people who are actually responding rather than just kind of letting your query letter exist in the ether. So I'd rather have a form rejection and know that they have read it, it's not a good fit, and move on. So I received 5 form rejections so far, and I received 1 personalized rejection. So personalized rejection, it is still a rejection. They ultimately passed on reading more material, but they did add some personalized feedback, some critique, or some sort of, customized response to that rejection. And it started out great. The agent who responded, they did say that they were very receptive about the plot and the character and the whole setup. They were really, a fan of. But there was an aspect of my writing that they didn't quite gel with, and that ultimately was the reason that led them to pass on my manuscript. So yeah, that is a bummer. But it is really helpful in the grand scheme of things. And something that I noticed the first time when I was querying back in 2018, I did receive a few personalized rejections, and there was, in two of them, both agents left the same comment. So I was able to take that feedback from the agents, like obviously it was brought up twice, so this is something I should look at. So I was able to take that feedback and use it for all of my future writing. And that's kind of the great thing about personalized rejection. It's kind of best case scenario when you get a rejection from an agent, because you have some sort of concrete feedback, like a concrete response that you can use to then improve your writing, improve your story. And that's best case scenario when you get a rejection, right? So I was very thankful for that. Again, ultimately, they did decide to pass. That's okay. But I really do appreciate the feedback that they gave, which is something that I thought I had worked on and I thought I got better at, but maybe I just didn't get better at it. Maybe I just have to keep working at it and keep figuring it out. So that's where I am with my rejections. Again, 5 form rejections and 1 personalized rejection. So in a month's time, all in all, not that bad. As I've been on this querying journey, I have not been working on my manuscript. I have kind of put a pin in it until either some miraculous thing happens with an agent or I receive enough, pass and rejections and kind of have to take whatever feedback I get and implement that hopefully in another revision and see if I can then make any headway as far as finding representation. So I have not been working on my manuscript. I've just kind of been anxiously awaiting responses from agents, but also not focusing on it. Again, there's no point in using all your time and energy to focus on these responses because a lot of agents, it can take weeks and weeks and months to respond to you. And that is sort of just the reality of it. Agents get a lot of queries. They have a lot of material that they have to read. So best to kind of send out your queries and then forget about it because you're going to be waiting a while for most of them to respond. So next for me, I'm just going to continue waiting. I have still a bunch of queries that are out there in the world. Hopefully I do start to hear from more. I know that the holidays are coming up and a lot of agents, they take time off, well-deserved time off, and I probably won't hear from them from around mid-November throughout the new year. Some agents, they do work through the holidays, but I think most of them take that time off for themselves and their families and friends. So that's all good. I don't really know if I'll get any other sort of responses between now and Thanksgiving. So I might just be waiting until January, February sometime for any real traction and responses to come in. But if and when they do start rolling in, I will be sure to give you another update and let you know how the journey is going so far. So fingers crossed, always fingers crossed, hoping for the best. But, I am a realist, so I know what can and cannot happen here. But again, hoping for the best and just waiting to see if and when it'll happen. And that is my short and sweet update on my querying journey. Again, I will keep you guys updated if anything fun or exciting happens. For now, we're just playing the waiting game. But I will say, I really do like the fact that I'm not just so mentally in my manuscript. I like having this break for the past couple of weeks where I'm not sort of stressing and overanalyzing and overthinking my plot or character development or threads or anything like that. So I am welcoming the much needed downtime, and I have taken advantage of it. I watched 22 movies in the month of October, plus 3 seasons of TV shows, so a well-deserved break. Anyway, that's all for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye.